Hi everyone! Welcome to the Piano Keys. I'm so glad that you're here. This is my third practice time for Chopin's Fantaisie Impromptu. I know it's been a really long time since the first two came up, and a lot of you have been asking me, when am I going to do the third one? Here it is, okay? So remember that practice times are not like my other tutorials. Practice time is where you get to kind of look over my shoulder as I'm practicing, and I explain my process as I do it and why I'm doing what I'm doing. I also show you the parts that I make mistakes. So there's very little editing of this type of video. Basically, the only time I edit is if like one of my dogs barks and I have to go do something. You don't need to, waste your time with that. But I don't really edit out my mistakes so that you get to see that everyone has challenges, and I think it's very valuable for you to see where I do have challenges and how I deal with them, because hopefully that will help you with whatever challenge you're facing. Connect with me on social media. Lots of times I give out news and interesting tidbits that I don't have time to make videos about. So if you're on Facebook, find me on Facebook, The Piano Keys, and on Instagram, The Piano Keys TPK. My website is The Piano Keys. If you haven't seen part 1 yet of this tutorial series, you can click right here, and that will get you started at the very beginning. If you're learning from my videos and you want to help me keep making more videos for you, you can use the PayPal link that's in the description box and donate whatever amount that you're able to. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, we've waited long enough. Let's get to it. Here's part 3 of Chopin's Fantaisie Impromptu. All right, let's do this. It's only been 5 months since the last video. Why not now? I'm going to start where I left off in part 2. So I'm now in measure 13. And I'm going to start with the left hand. And I know that this pattern has a lot of similarities to what I've been doing before. So I can start off fast-ish, and I'm going to just jump right in with the metronome. And I have my metronome set to 85 for the quarter note. But you can see that there are 3 eighth notes for each quarter note, so they're like triplets. Okay, measure 13. Okay, so right away I see that I'm going to have to practice that aiming. So I'll go ahead and slow down just a little bit. Let's go to 82. And this time as I move down, I'm going to really make sure that I know where I'm going. So let's see if I can do better. Starting measure 13. That was better. Yeah, so what made it better? Well, I was very clear on what note I was going to, and whenever I'm aiming, let me pause this. Whenever I'm aiming for a far note, I kind of hear that note in my mind, my inner ear, not physically, but inside ear, before I get to it, and I kind of feel like that key is drawing me toward it like it's a magnet. I know, it's just like it's a mind trick that I use on myself, but most of the time it works. And I also kind of glance down very briefly, make sure I'm in the right area. All right, I'm going to do that again, and I'm going to move on this time. By the way, just because I got it this time doesn't mean I'll get it every time, and that's okay. Stop there. That was measure 24. So now I'm going to go back and take a smaller section than that. That was just an introduction for myself on what I'll be working on today. I'm going to take a smaller section, and I'm going to build up the speed. Somebody had said that this is like a robotic way of practicing. I mean, you can think of it that way if you want. If you have something that helps you more than this, go for it. But my intention here is to build up my muscle memory so that when I'm performing, I'm not worried about thinking, where are my hands going to go? Where should I send my fingers? They already know where to go. And then I can just go ahead and express the music and think about the musical aspects of it rather than the technique. Not to say that I won't be thinking of technique when I'm performing, but you don't want to be concerned with what notes are you going to play and are you going to get them or not. So yeah, I do lots and lots of repetition. What is that saying? Repetition is the mother of skill, something like that. And that's how you build up skill. So if you have a better way, let me know what that is, but just make sure you can back up your words. All right, so I'm going to start at 13, and I think I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do 4 measures at a time. No, I'll do 8 measures at a time because they're so similar. So I'll start at 82. Is that 8 measures? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, sure was. All right, that sounded pretty good. It felt pretty good. There's one part that doesn't feel so good, and that is in measure 16, where I'm doing this. That's quite a stretch, but I don't want to do this because if I use 4th finger here, then I have, this metronome's annoying. If I do this, I feel like this is, I don't know, and not as easy of an aim as from 3rd finger. And maybe that's just in my mind. Let's see. No, maybe I can do it. Actually, I think, yeah, I talked myself into 4th finger there. So what I was doing was 5, 4, 2, 1, and then I was going to 3 because I was kind of thinking of it as on the way to the E. But that's really hard to reach. So coming from the A, do you see that with my really small hands? So I think I'm going to go ahead and do 4 like this. And then just really make sure that I'm getting that. Okay, so I will do that. I will speed up. Let me bring that metronome over here. Okay, let's go to, I was at 82. I'm going to go to 87. Same place. Oop, not good. Yeah. I think it's just a matter of getting like mentally okay with it. As you can tell, I'm kind of stressing the 1 and the 2. Every time I have a note that lines up with a metronome beat, I'm leaning on it a little bit so that I'm preparing myself for when the hands play together. Those are the notes that the hands are going to line up. So I'm making it clear to my body that that's the beat I want to feel. All right, going back to 13. Feels good. I'm going to 92. So you might have noticed I'm using a digital keyboard and the keys are very light, and so if I were to play this on an actual piano, like an acoustic piano, the keys wouldn't, you go down as easily as they are now. So every once in a while I'll graze a key and it'll go down. And that's a big drawback of playing a digital keyboard as opposed to an acoustic piano. The feel is so different. But that's okay. All right, felt pretty good. Let's do 97. So as you can tell, I'm going up by 5s because this is relatively easy. If it were something more complicated, I might even go up like 2 clicks at a time. Not good. That feels good. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm just kind of like rotating back and forth, like I don't know, like a swing, or if you're watching a tennis match, one side to the other. So as I'm playing, I'm feeling the weight of my arm kind of centered in the middle of my hand, and I'm just shifting it back and forth. If you have big hands, you might not have this concern. But for me, I have to figure out how to get across the keyboard accurately. And I noticed that a lot of it has to do with where I'm putting the weight of my arm. All right, that feels pretty good. That was 97. I'll go up to 102. I've talked about the concept of overload before. I probably have, but basically it's when you're training, it also happens in sports. When you're training, you train at a much harder level than you expect to perform. So what does that mean here? In this case, I'm playing faster than I am planning on playing when I put the hands together. And so when I slow it down for a hands together practice, then it will feel easy compared to what I'm doing now. Another thing you can do for overload is to practice with your eyes closed, which I'm not going to do right now because that's really boring to watch, I think. And you can also do and I know I've talked about this, the altered rhythm. So instead of just playing, you would do something like this. I'll show you. Okay, why would I want to do something weird like that? Because notice here, I'm doing these notes, these guys, a lot faster than I was playing with the metronome before, but I'm also giving myself time in between with a long note to recoup and to figure out what's coming next. So basically, I'm practicing both fast and slow at the same time. I could also do it like this. Let's see. I could do it like that. It's way too fast at this tempo. So let me slow it down and show you properly. That's still probably too fast. So notice I'm waiting, and then these guys are fast. I'm not doing it with metronome, but just to show you. Yeah, I'm not going with the metronome, but now if I play it, so that was 92, but not that I was with it. But if I go to let me go to 110. This is going to feel so much easier in comparison. Yeah, it's just like now it feels really slow. Okay. Yep, feels really good. By the way, I'm creating a course right now on how to practice. And I'm going to give you like a million techniques for practicing. You keep an eye out for that. That's going to be very valuable for you. Because there's only so much I can show in a tutorial, but with a whole course, I can really give you a lot of information of stuff that I've used myself and that I've used with my students and that work like magic if you know how to do them. All right, enough for the left hand. Now, let's move on and do the right hand, and this time I'm just going to go through without the metronome and get an idea of what I'm doing of the same section that I practiced initially with the left hand. Okay, so that's the idea. Notice here that we have, you should definitely have the sheet music. If you don't have it yet, there's a link in the description box. I didn't make it. It's just there if you want to follow the link and get the sheet music. You'll notice in measure 13, there's an accent mark on the first note and then on the first of every group, right? Because, so this whole thing is really pretty, obviously, right? But the first notes of every beat are actually making a melody. Okay? And then in the second group of the same thing, Chopin has the accent on the second note of each group. So it's like an echo. It's the same melody, but up an octave and offset by 1/16 note. And then it changes slightly. And so on. Now, honestly, every time I've heard this piece played, I haven't really heard the pianist emphasize that. So I don't know if it's considered like not in favor to do that, but I'm going to try to do it because Chopin asked us to do it. We'll see. All right, going with the metronome now, we're going to do the first 8 measures, and we'll start at 80. Okay. I have my 5th finger ready to go. I never collapse my hand. It's always just spread out. But at the same time, I'm not making a claw. It's relaxed, but spread out. So you can do that. Relax your arm and your wrist. You don't want any tension here. You're basically going to be, fluttering around the keyboard. So if you have tension, good luck. You're going to hurt yourself and hit on a wall. So I'll do that again because it wasn't very clean. Oops. All right, I'm looking actually at the clock, and I'm not going to get to do as much as I thought I would because I don't have enough room. on my phone to record all that. So I'm just going to keep it to the first 8 measures then. Moving on to, I'll go to 86. Okay. Let me do that again. Pretty good. Let's go to, I don't know, let's go to 92. That's not good. That stretch, do you see? You see what a stretch that is? So I have to really be aware that that's coming up. So this is one of those instances where I have to hook my 5th finger. So basically, I need to prepare for it. So let's go back to measure 13. Not good. Better. By the way, this would actually be easier when it's memorized because then I can look at my hand. Right now my eyes are glued to the music. So memorize as soon as you can in the process, and then that way you can keep an eye on your hands as well. But it was good enough. I'm going to go on and go to 97. Much better. Let's do 103. That's nice. I don't have any pain in my arm or in my wrist because I'm relaxed. However, I do feel like I'm using it. It's like when you're exercising, you know, if you're working out with weights, it's not pain exactly. It's just that you're aware that you're using those muscles. Maybe it's a little bit of fatigue, buildup of lactic acid. I'm feeling that here because my fingers are very active, but it's not pain. So I'm saying that because if you feel pain, stop. It's better not to play fast or not to play this at all. You may not be prepared for it physically, okay? But, you know, if you stop and shake out your hand a little bit and go a little slower, you should be okay. So I'm going to go one more fast speed. Let's go to 110. Why not? Okay, that's good enough. Because I'm under a time crunch, I'm going to go ahead and put the hands together. And I'm going to go really slow. I'm going, I don't know, let's do 70. Actually, that might not be slow enough to show you. Let's go to 60. forgot the finger there. I should have written in. So, okay, but my aim down there to that E was pretty good. I was actually proud of myself. Maybe that's why I lost concentration. I'm not talking too much about fitting the hands together because we've already talked about it in the previous 2 videos. Oops. Somebody just commented on one of my other YouTube videos. So, what was I? Okay, so I'm not talking too much about fitting because if we've gotten this far, then we've already discussed that. So let's go again, measure 13. Whoop. Let's do that again. This is measure 16. Oh, so see what's happening. Turn off the metronome. This is the measure both where the left hand has that 4th finger and then jumping, and where the right hand has that really weird reach. So I'm going to just take that out of context and work on it a little bit. Oops. Did I do that right? I know, I see what I'm doing. I'm trying to get 4th finger over there. Okay. It's pretty good. Okay, so now I know what I'm aiming for. Let's do it again. Starting measure 12. So let me take a look at measure 19. Let's see, what am I doing? Okay, so that's where the left hand changes the pattern, so I have to be aware of that. And the right hand changes the pattern. Here we go. So we're here. This is it. Okay, so I just have to be aware of that. All right, one more time at 60 beats per minute from measure 12. 13, I mean. It's okay. Not bad. I'm going to do it one more time at this tempo. Pretty good. Let's go up to 65. Okay, I'm not going to go faster, and I'm just going to go ahead and add pedal for us here. Normally, I probably wouldn't. If I were at this point, I really wouldn't add pedal. It's not necessary, but let's just hear how it goes. I'm I'm just following the pedal markings that are on the sheet music, which I don't know if I like at this tempo, because this is telling me to hold for the entire measure. But if I were to go really fast, it might be okay. For now, I'm going to go ahead and change on every beat 1 and beat 3. And then later, when I go faster at another day, if I want to hold the pedal, I can. You're not tied to any one way of doing stuff, okay? So you practice, you get the general idea and get all the muscle memory in place, and then you adjust to whatever situation. Maybe you have a different piano, or playing a very dead room, so you need more sustain pedal. It all depends. But for now, I'm just going to change on beat 1 and beat 3. Here. And I'm also not doing any dynamics because I don't have a whole lot of time. That's why. So you have to pick and choose what you're going to work on, and this is a great demonstration of that. I'm going to go a little faster before I sign off. 71 with pedal. Okay, we're gonna call it a day for this practice session. I hope you got something out of it. Let me know if you have any questions. What did you think? Let me know. Let me know how you're doing. And if you have any questions about what you saw or any other issues that I didn't address in my practice, let me know in the comment section, or you can send me an email or on Facebook or whatever, okay? I hope that you're enjoying the process of getting better, and it's always a journey. There's nobody that I know that is a great musician that thinks that they have arrived. They're always trying to get better. That's the nature of this art, of any art. So don't be discouraged. Keep practicing. Let me know if you have any questions. Have lots of fun, and I will see you soon. Bye.